Okay, so Kaifeng looms up on the road ahead of you. The striking feature of the city, of course, being the large central pagoda, complete with its jade tiles, the glimmer of which is apparent even from this distance. Now, many of you won't have actually been to Kaifeng, but you will definitely know of it. It's a city that holds, as much importance in the realm. Maybe not quite as much importance as the imperial capital, but it's probably a close second because this is the headquarters of the Jade Brotherhood, who are the order of magi responsible for, basically overseeing the teaching and usage of magic throughout the empire. So, as a result of this, all of you probably at some stage in your lives have encountered members of the Jade Brotherhood in some capacity or another, because they have quite a wide presence as a result of their duties. But it means that Kaifeng itself is a city that, by its nature, draws in those with the desire to study magic, or indeed those that are just naturally gifted with it, which you could imagine probably causes some tension between those that are really, just naturally good, say, the sorcerers, compared to those who have to really work their asses off for it. But it means that the city itself is, thriving as a result of it. The kind of primary industry, if you want to call it that, here is largely the manufacture of kind of minor magical trinkets. I think I kind of touched on this before, but in this setting, the weave, it runs perhaps wider but a little more shallow, so it's a lot easier for the average person to have some sort of magical inclination, but kind of the higher level spells are fewer and far between. That means that there's a pretty bustling trade in things like enchanted objects that make everyday life more convenient, if not necessarily groundbreakingly different. Things like essentially like stones that might be able to ignite a fire, so it saves you that little time when you're cooking, perhaps little trinkets like that. And the artificers that work alongside the Jade Brotherhood make a tidy fortune from that. All, of course, heavily taxed by the Imperial Treasury. But as you guys draw near to the city gates, you can start to hear the hustle and bustle. Again, the markets are probably going to be packed, as you would expect. People do travel far and wide, and where it's located in the realm, you're pretty close to the capital, all things considered. So, obviously, Elias would probably be piping up if he weren't paralytically drunk from the hip flask Lee May offered him on his journey. So he will be taking a nap for this session.
Once again, Elias making bad decisions.
He's sulking because someone mentioned sorcerers.
And I love how it's my fault.
Was it not your fault?
Naturally.
Yeah, no, I'm saying it is my fault. I gave him a hit back.
Some overproof contents of a flask of some description. But it's probably for the best, because although he may not have overtly said it, from what you've learned of Elias, it's probably a fair assumption that his relationship with the Jade Brotherhood is probably rocky at best. But obviously you guys have your own motives, and Kaifeng is a pretty decent stopping point on the way further north, if that's where you were thinking of heading. I know, obviously, Zwan, you've got some personal reasons to potentially want to go north.
Mm-hmm.
We need to pop into the local temple.
Arrangements to be made.
Yes, obviously, having kind of made that arrangement last time with Ren. The practicalities of that need to be put into place. Now, the how should I put this? The steward of your local order is a man that you two have not met, but you know through reputation. He's quite a well-respected member of your organisation, although supposedly very, kind of committed to the cause, shall we say, more so than most. And that can come across as quite intense to deal with him from what you've heard. But at the same time, it's no doubt is responsible for the results that he has. The local branch here in Kaifeng is said to be doing very well. But no doubt he would be able to assist you in the matters that you're looking for.
It's probably best we get accommodation sorted, and then we will need to leave and go and deal with temple matters.
If we are unfortunate, they have a habit of making us wait. And not rushing to find accommodation late at night would make life a lot easier.
Sure, so obviously as a big city, you aren't going to struggle to find somewhere to hole up for the night in Kaifeng. In fact, actually, you're probably looking at paying under the odds compared to a lot of other cities because it has a large student population, and trainee mages are not known for their deep purses.
I'm sure as well there's probably a high likelihood of things getting burnt down around them.
Yes, insurance premiums here are above average. But yes, so making your way kind of towards the centre of town, it isn't long before you spot a suitable-looking tavern. Not a huge place, out of the way. Probably somewhere that isn't going to draw too many questions for a group of travellers looking to just rest for the night.
Perfect, this place looks good. Go and inquire about a room. Or number of rooms, I suppose.
So, yeah, again, it's not. It's more of a hostel, almost, that kind of level of accommodation. So it's not going to cost you all too much. The proprietor, he makes you a deal. He'll offer you like a bunk room big enough to accommodate all of you, and he'll give that to you for a lofty sum of 3 silver pieces.
That sounds good to us. Party funds.
Okay, so he hands you your key, gives you the grand tour, which is not all too grand at all, in fact. Yeah, it's a bit of a dump, but you'll be able to probably pass the night here uninterrupted. Again, it does have the lock on the door, so that is probably better than a few other places.
Perfect. If no one else has any other business, we will meet everyone back here once we've dealt with temple duties.
You don't want us to come with you?
The part of the temple we'll be going to is private, I'm afraid.
Oh, I was hoping to see another temple.
We can give you the grand tour once we're back.
Aye.
Until then, enjoy the city. I'm sure there's plenty here for what everyone's looking for.
Okay, so with that, Zhang Chen, you and Ching Shen, you guys make your way back down into the tavern's communal area and then out into the city. So it doesn't take too long to find the temple that you're looking for. So obviously, as you are dressed. You don't get any strange looks as you enter. Nor do you particularly have much difficulty with the other members of the clergy. A few solemn nods here and there, but you can't know roughly what you're looking for, and before too long you see it. A small carving in a well, it's almost, if you weren't looking for it, you'd probably struggle, because it's carved right at the bottom of a wooden door in a little kind of alcove in one of the temples. Little kind of cloisters off to one side, away from the main areas that your everyday worshippers would be allowed to kind of visit and pray in. But you see the mark you're looking for.
And this is within a temple of Yinlong.
It is,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll press it or give the knock. Go in.
Okay, so you knock the door, and a view slit, a cover is drawn back, and a pair of eyes assess you. Well,
Brother Zhang Chen and Sister Qingxin, we have matters to discuss. And I will make the covertly make the sign of the Brotherhood.
you make the sign. Qingxin, you obviously have your little amulet as well.
Mhm.
Both of which seem to get the result you want, as the eyes assess you a little longer before the slit is closed, and you hear a number of bolts being drawn back on the other side of the door. It's open to reveal quite a large figure, and one that you're not really expecting to see. Is standing within a very kind of plain set of priestly robes is a hobgoblin. Now, they're fewer and far between compared to most other races in the realm. But this one is quite solemn as he stands aside for you to enter. Not wasting any time, of course, after you've passed him, to close the door once more. So, you find yourselves now in a seemingly ordinary little room, but this can't be it, clearly, because it looks really like a storeroom. Against one wall you can see a few shelves with some dusty scripture, a few boxes here and there, nothing particularly important. But the hobgoblin pushes past you, Zhang Chen, and grabs an iron pry bar from the wall. Expertly, he sticks the end of this between two flagstones and prizes it up. What he reveals there is a staircase which seems to lead deep beneath the temple.
Fabulous.
Thank you.
Okay, so as you descend, you realise that this is clearly a later addition to the premises. This hasn't been built like this from the looks of things. The shaft that you're going down is fairly rough in its construction. The staircase is wooden rather than stone. And it opens out into what appears to be a cave, almost. Clearly something that has been excavated in a fairly, bare minimum kind of way. But it's spacious enough that you can see quite a lot of equipment and supplies, all stashed along various walls, and a few shelves dotted throughout. And it's surprisingly busy. There are quite a few people, probably about a dozen or so, going about various things in here. A few of them obviously stop to look up, but seeing the hobgoblin behind you, they clearly know that nothing is amiss here, so they go about their business. But you're led to a large kind of table where a few different things are set out. A map is amongst them, but a lot of other documentation. Where you see that there is a gnome sat behind the desk. He looks up and his eyes go from you to the hobgoblin. A question is there in his eyes, but clearly answered by the solemn nod that he receives. I don't believe we've met, but from the fact that Ulvok here hasn't eviscerated you, I take it you're some of ours.
Yes, we are new in town.
He
We travel from the south.
he places a little kind of bookmark to keep his place and closes the tome that he's reading. Leaving that on the table, he gets down from the chair, kind of hops off of it, and makes his way around to you guys, looking up at you. And obviously, the size difference, particularly for you, Zhang Chen, is fairly comical. But despite that, you can't help but sense a certain air of authority about the little fellow. It's quite obvious that this is the guy calling the shots, at least in this particular cave. So what brings you here, and just which sector have you come from?
We are here because along our way, have made a deal which will be favourable for us. And what sect are we from, Crispy?
Well, that would depend on where you would like your home city to be. We didn't quite cover this.
Yeah, no, we didn't.
Did not think about that bit.
Back to the realm. Lao Cheng or Xiaoyang?
Or somewhere in the vicinity, or like
Yeah.
the mountainous region, if there's like a
Okay. Yeah.
town or something in
Yeah.
between the two of them. Yeah, probably somewhere in that region.
that-
Yeah.
Yeah, somewhere around there. Okay, cool. That's that works, and seems to be met with approval. So you have travelled a fair distance.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I met anybody from down there. How are things?
They've been better, but they've also been much worse.
Much the same. Things are relatively quiet. It is out of the way for most of the realm. We see some trade routes, and that's about the sum total of the excitement.
And how grows the how grows the congregation down there? Is the
Slowly.
word spreading?
Slowly, but the congregants are deeply zealous. Those who have joined truly believe in the mission, which is gratifying.
There's
Good.
growing displeasure against the dragons, which works very well in our favour.
He smiles as you relay this information to him. Yes, it's a powerful recruitment tool for us, the discontent with the status quo.
Mm.
We have quite a few of our flock here. A lot of them are fairly disgruntled. A lot of them magically inclined due to, obviously, the nature of the city. It's proving to be quite a powerful combination.
I imagine
We're,
so.
We're making some pretty serious inroads here.
Fabulous.
But anyway, tell me more about this deal.
So, there was a village we came across along the way, as well as a group of travellers who are currently useful for our purposes, so we're sticking with them. There was a village we came across that had made, shall we say, less than legal dealings with the Fae. The Fae came to collect. We sent them a message they're not going to be forgetting anytime soon, but there is a chance they're going to come back and won't be pleased with the villagers. So I had a lovely sit down with the village elder, a man by the name of Ren. and informed him of the, should we say, change of management. Where if we've got guys to spare, we go down, we'll station a couple there to keep an eye on things, and they'll pay us protection money instead of making limb sacrifices to the Fae. We keep it going for as long as we want to. The longer we keep it going, the better, but if the village goes, the village goes.
They seemed very willing to make deals with the Fae, especially when it was not the most advantageous situation for them. I think, provided that the Fae, in our absence, haven't eviscerated them entirely, I think they could be quite accommodating long term.
Them turning to forces outside the realm does bode well for us if we can prove to be a better light to turn to than the Fae were.
He paces a little bit as you relay the story, nodding at intervals. Yes, I think the consequences if the authorities were to find out what's been going on there would probably work wonders to keep them in line.
Our thoughts exactly.
Very good. I'll make sure that some of our associates find their way over there to keep that little operation running. He hops back onto his seat and grabs a quill and makes a quick annotation on his map. Clearly an aid for his memory later. You tell me that you have other plans with this group. Can you tell me more about those?
For the time being, they're a good cover of our movements. From what I gather, they aren't on the best side of the law with the realm.
And they're powerful.
Well, that's again another series of traits that seem to align themselves well with ourselves. We could probably use these if you think they're suitably pliable.
We could possibly do with probing. They do seem to have a certain resistance to authority, but it's not beyond the realms of possibility.
Too early to say, but definite potential.
He nods at this. Well, perhaps we give them a little something to test their mettle. We can always use a helping hand, and I think that if they're adverse, shall we say, to authority, then this one might suit them well. I take it they're presumably driven by monetary motivators quite strongly.
They seem to be so.
Very good. Well, I have a proposal then. We've been struggling lately. The Imperial Court have been cracking down a little bit on dissenters and the, shall we say, religiously different. Now, there are a number of ways they've been doing this. Most of them we can avoid naturally. However, there is one particular individual who has been making life very difficult for our operations. He's, from what I've gathered from my intelligence, a fairly well-renowned inquisitor. He's set up shop just outside of town in a little tower. I believe that he's versed in scrying magic and intends to use it to get some answers. Now, obviously, those are answers that we don't want him to get. So, what I'm proposing is, if I were to make a forgery of a bounty poster for this individual, do you think these simpletons you're travelling with would be up for claiming it?
I would be surprised at this point if they weren't.
Good, good. Well, in that case, I'll make one up quickly. Feel free to make yourselves comfortable. It should only take about half an hour or so. And we can potentially rid ourselves with that particular problem and see if these companions of yours are going to be suitable for our purposes for the future.
Sounds good to me. If we're going to be working together in the future, I believe we missed introductions. I'm Brother Zhang Chen, and this is Sister Qing Xin. To whom do we have the pleasure?
Ah, yes, of course. You may call me Valfen. He extends a hand to both of you.
I shake it.
Likewise, shake.
I'm the local chapter master for Kaifeng and the surrounding area. I do my best to get out and see the congregation as much as I possibly can, and I do love the occasional ceremony now and again, but obviously with the various administrative tasks, I find myself with very little time for the personal pleasures these days.
Shame. It is so lovely seeing everybody together.
Definitely
He
a useful man
nods.
for us to know.
So he takes a piece of parchment from a pile on the other side of his desk and a quill. And you watch as he starts to masterfully forge what appears to be, at first glance, a very legitimate looking bounty poster. This is penmanship that clearly isn't that of an amateur. This gnome has undergone training of some sort, perhaps in some past capacity. But wherever he's learned it, the results speak for themselves, and as he hands it to you, shaking it a little to help dry the ink off, you take a glance at it, and for all the world, it looks like it had been issued by the Magistrates' Courts itself. The poster issues a fairly substantial bounty, actually, 800 gold pieces for the it actually doesn't say dead or alive. It literally just says the retrieval of the body of a man named Inquisitor Raziva, and a kind of sketch of his visage. Interestingly, you know that it's a dragonborn.
You didn't mention it was a noble. Not that it's going to make any difference.
Well, yes, unfortunately, it's a minor member of the royal blood, but trifling from what I've heard. Several generations removed from the primary line of succession. One of the typical aristocratic types with little to do, and so have made themselves a nuisance in some way or another. Unfortunately for him, he's made a nuisance of himself to us, and that was his first and most serious mistake.
First and hopefully last.
Clearly not kept in the loop or very well trusted then amongst his peers.
Well, as far as I can make out, there are that many minor princelings and nobility that quite a few of them are largely forgotten about or just swept under the carpet.
Unfortunate for him. But it should make our life easier.
So he hands that to you. The last I heard, he was setting up in a old tower to the west of Kaifeng, about a day's ride. I believe he intends to use it as his base of operations.
1 day ride, you said?
Something around that, yes.
Fabulous.
As this is a magical city, I imagine you've got some form of anti-scrying device we could take with us. Make sure he doesn't see us coming.
Personally, no. We are protected in these halls by a very powerful ward, but I'm afraid that is not mobile.
Can you recommend somewhere we could go to acquire such a thing?
Well, there are several artificers that could probably do it for you. If you want it done properly, it certainly won't be cheap.
Mm.
But I can give you the names of a few if you'd like.
That would be helpful. We can go and investigate.
I'm sure we can dangle the 800 gold bounty over the party and they'll realise that it's a worthwhile investment.
Okay, so he points out on his little map a kind of area where he says there are a few artisanal workshops for magical items. Again, lots of artificers here will be plying their trade, so there's a good chance that somebody here will be able to do it for you. But again, yes, it may turn out to be quite expensive.
We'll see what the party says then.
Lovely.
Well, I'll be very interested to see how this one turns out for you. I'll pray for a speedy conclusion to your business.
It's not in my nature to leave other members of the Order disappointed. So I'm sure we will see you again soon.
He makes the sign of the Brotherhood with his hands as you go to leave, before sitting down once more at his desk and opening the book to the page where he'd left off. The hobgoblin doesn't say a word, just escorts you back up the staircase and out back into the temple itself, the door closing behind you and the bolts going once more. And then, before too long, you guys are back in the temple proper, mingling amongst the regular worshippers and not looking any more out of place than anybody else in the temple.
Right. Let's
Back we go
head back.
with our orders from the temple.
Okay, so making your way back, the rest of you, it's probably been a couple of hours since the two of them left before they return.
Yeah, I'm not sure what. Well, I know Elias wanted to break into the Jade Brotherhood Palace, but I know we're not doing that without him, so it's not on the agenda today. Zwan, how are you? How are you feeling?
Sure. A little rundown, but that could be worse.
We could take a look around and see if there's any places where you could have a little snacky snack
Easy prey.
later on.
Please.
We can just look like we're browsing.
Just window shopping.
Mae's tried so hard.
Well, it's a bustling city, so plenty of opportunity.
We'd probably be looking for like, well, more a place where someone may be too drunk to go. Is the Tavern Meridian a good place, or is that too like centre?
Well, it's fairly central, but at the same time, it's not the busiest of places. You imagine that closer towards the, kind of magical academies, you may find busier bars.
What do you think works best on a quieter area or one that's too busy to manage?
Probably somewhere quieter.
All right then. We will scout for a place that looks a bit seedy. A lot of people. It's like similar to other places potentially. He's been to get denom
Okay,
noms.
so you guys have a stroll around for maybe an hour or so. Kind of getting a feel for the immediate vicinity around your tavern. And whilst the city itself appears to be quite safe in the main streets, there are quite a few alleyways connecting the main thoroughfares, which are a little bit twisty, probably quite secluded later at night.
All right. Well, good thing you can come back here then, I guess. But let me know if you need me to come with you to help. I don't know. Knock them out.
A meal for two.
No, thank you.
Ever the caring friend.
Learning from last time, I'll look for possible escape routes if things don't quite go as well, rather than running past people.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So you take a bit of time, Zwan, to kind of familiarise yourself with the layout of the streets, any possible escape routes or hiding places, anything that could be useful should you need to make a quick escape at some point later.
Lovely.
So yes, by the time you guys are kind of satisfied with that, it's not too long before the others return.
Afternoon, how has your day been?
Well, just been looking around. Never been here before. So we were just enjoying the sights, I guess. How was yours? How was the temple?
Productive, actually. So they're sending people imminently to go back to the village. They
Well,
also
thank-
pointed out some work for us.
There's been a local mage causing issues.
Oh.
A scrying mage who they believe is feeding information to unscrupulous groups to ambush members of the clergy while they're out travelling on the road. I'll show them the bounty. As you can see, it's quite profitable. And as we seem to be a fairly accomplished, sufficient. Chris isn't sure what the word is, but suitable, basically. We can hold our own. We thought it might be good work while we're here.
We were pointed in the direction of some artificers who can aid with the scrying issue, but we were warned it may be expensive.
But for 800 gold...
Is that each or is that split between everybody?
I would assume in total.
I mean, we're quite expensive, so, yeah.
If you have something better to do...
Well, no. I mean, drinking sounds good, but...
And 800 gold would, or your share of 800 gold, would give you quite the money for drinking.
How much would that be? But five of us?
6 of us normally, is it?
6 or 5? My brain is not working.
Oh my balls.
Yeah. 5 here today, so 6.
Yeah, it depends if you want to give Elias his share in his absence.
Oh no, only 133! Oh.
He may have magical
Only...
items we could liberate and sell as well, don't forget. Lime's like, now you're talking my language.
Yeah. There's one when Lee May was saying that, gave her a little kick under the table with eyes that said, "Don't let them know that 100 and however much gold isn't much to us." But I don't know how much of that message is coming across. But that's the look in my eyes.
Robbie,
right,
insight,
okay.
please, Lee May.
Because Lume's just talking shit as usual. Okay.
Okay, so you've been with Zwan long enough to know that there's some meaning in his glare. Obviously, he's not best pleased with what you appear to be divulging.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess, yeah. That's pretty hefty sum. Yeah. Yeah. Let's go kill an Inquisitor, I guess. Yeah.
Who said anything about an Inquisitor, Miss Metagamer?
Oh, sorry, I thought you said it was Inquisitor.
No.
Oh, we would
What
have
did you
shown,
call
would have
him?
shown the bounty, which was did have his name on.
I'm not sure if the bounty had.
I thought it had his name
What's
on.
Did it have,
yeah, what does
did
the
it have
bounty
Inquisitor
actually
on the
say?
title, or does it just say
No, the bounty kind of ties in with Zhang Chang's story. It mentions his name, but not the rank.
Oh, apologies. Okay, wreck on that. I was to say, let's go kill a mage!
Yeah, we would have been
Alright.
quite hush-hush about the fact that this guy
Yeah,
is an
sorry.
Inquisitor.
Oh, right, okay, I know the next question that she would ask is, no one important, right?
Uh,
We're not gonna get in trouble, because we're already in so much shit.
no, I'm sure any issues caused would be covered by the church.
Uh-huh. Even though he can, as you said, scry our every move, so he will see us coming.
Well, it relies on us not being spotted coming, hence
Well-
the discussion with artificers.
Shouldn't that have been factored into the payment, maybe? How much are the artificers going to be? Do you know?
We don't know.
We've not been to see them yet. We thought we'd come and talk to you first.
Oh, right. Well, then,
We
let's
had a good thing
go.
going after the village.
Yeah?
We're a team
Alright.
now.
Uh-huh. You're sharing everything about yourselves to us. Yes, yes.
Does the
My Lee May, what strange things you're saying.
does the bounty actually tell the fact that he's a Dragonborn, or is that hidden as well?
It has a sketch of him, so it's quite apparent.
Oh.
Oh, he's a aren't Dragonborn really?
All
Aren't it-
Dragonborn are nobles.
Okay.
I assure
Does he
you.
look? Does he look
He's-
familiar at all? We don't know him, right?
No, he's not familiar. to
No.
you.
Okay, thank God. Because we know a Dragonborn noble family. I don't say that out loud. I'm just. Yep.
Josh said, "You are just telling us so much today."
I'm just shutting up now.
No, you know how these nobles can be. The blood gets thinner, they try and find something else to do with their day.
Just don't know how much I feel about coming into a city and immediately killing someone or capturing someone. But knowing
Well,
us,
we're
it's
not-
killing someone.
We're
Uh-huh,
not,
sure, Zed, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that's stopped us before now.
and we're not coming
know, we
into a
haven't
city
actually-
and killing someone. We're coming into a city, leaving the city, and then killing someone. There is a very important distinction as far as the guards are concerned.
Eh?
We
He's
don't need
outside
to
the
kill
city.
him.
He's outside
Okay.
the city.
But it's us, we. Yeah. Okay. Seems like you guys are pretty set on this, and I guess we've got nothing better to do.
We're planning on going whether you come or not, but we thought you might enjoy a share of the loot.
We need the work, and it is at the behest of our church, so yes, we absolutely will be attending to this.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna stop fighting it now. I'm okay. the artificers then to see how much they will cost.
Yes, that sounds like the best course of action.
I turn to Swan and Wide Eye. You guys are okay with doing this, yeah?
I guess.
Fall from the first person I voted.
See, Wide Eye gets it.
I wish Elias was here. Yes.
Yeah. Is the area around this noble flammable?
Yeah.
I was going to say, if anything, it's probably better that he's not here.
Yeah, that's true.
Fireball
If you had
is-
qualms
You
about
can't
killing
hide
him,
a murder. You can't hide burning down an entire fucking complex.
This is true.
Given the number of magical items, it'll go off like a firework display.
Weesh.
Oh god. I can just imagine it being like Mulan at the end.
Yeah.
Oh god, now I have a bad feeling. But yes, to the artificers.
Okay, so you guys make your way to the kind of part of town which was pointed out to obviously Zhang Shen and Jing Shen. And there are quite a few shop fronts which are selling various magical trinkets for a kind of different range of purposes and price points. Now, obviously, the more powerful the artifacts, the more expensive it is. And very few of these workshops actually even bother to make really high-end stuff because the number of customers are few and far between. And honestly, probably most of these guys are just incapable of making anything of particularly high levels. So your number of shops to choose from here are limited for the kind of magic you're probably looking for. So having a look around, you probably only have the two stalls that might be potentially suitable.
Go and investigate.
So having a look, the store is attended by a half elf who politely stands aside and watches as you browse through his goods. Now, most of them, again, they're kind of aimed at your everyday magical users' needs, so it takes you a while to kind of find anything that looks like it might possibly be more powerful. And as you start to look at those items, he takes interest. Can I help you at all?
Quite possibly, good sir. You see, we're on a mission from the local Temple of Yinglong, as you may be able to tell from our get-up. And this mission requires some level of subtlety and secrecy. So some form of anti-scrying device so that we can keep our whereabouts more easily concealed would be very useful to us. And I'm sure the church would take notice of an artificer providing such services.
He looks at you a little bit like, this is a bit of a strange request, but it doesn't necessarily look like it's a a complete deal breaker. Okay, I'm sure favour with church is always good, I suppose. Did you have anything particular in mind? We might be able to help you. I can think of perhaps a couple of things, maybe. He starts to rummage a little bit while you kind of stand there. You can see that he's clearly got some goods which he keeps out of sight but readily to hand just in case.
Yes. Ideally something transportable and suitable for a party of this size.
He pulls out an amulet from a box underneath the main stool. Well, I'm afraid I don't have something that will work for all of you, but I do have this which would help one of you. He holds it up for you to examine. It appears that the necklace is kind of fairly sizable pendant. From the looks of it, made out of copper. The actual necklace itself is then kind of strung with beads of glass. Now this right here is probably just what you're after. Again, only for the individual though, but this is an amulet of proof against detection and location. So any sort of divination magic would fail if you were, to try and be targeted by it. It's quite a potent thing.
Perfect. How much are they, and how many do you have, if they're only for individuals?
Well, I am afraid I only have 2 of them in stock right now. They're not particularly commonly sought items, and they are not particularly cheap either. 250 gold pieces each.
Ooh. That is quite the cost, but it would make our task a lot safer. I'm going to turn to the rest of the party and go. So, if we're willing for this to eat into our funds a touch, this would make approaching them much safer. There are unfortunately only 2 of them. But my theory is adventurers pass by those roads every day. It's not every day that he'll see a couple of members of the clergy. That might put make him feel a bit concerned. So, for this mission, if we could wear them, and then we're happy to distribute them amongst the party based on whoever may need them in upcoming missions. We'd be willing to leave them with you as well if we were to ever part ways. So it's not just money for the sake of just now. It's an investment for you all going forwards.
Well, judging by the split of money, it's more than an investment for you. You'd be losing out.
We would be, but we never know when this kind of thing is useful in the future. We can potentially go and talk to the church and see if we can get any funds for this, but given that they've already given us the mission and nothing further, I may not be able to guarantee that.
I mean, if we could ask, that would be good.
Might be an idea.
I'd have to be quite personally intent on killing someone to pay for the privilege of doing it.
Yeah, we don't have that sense of loyalty to the temple as you both do. So
that makes sense. That's understandable. We can go and try, but given how they haven't given us any money to begin with, alas, maybe this is a venture lost, and we just risk it without the scry protection.
There we go. The hard approach.
Well, it only protects 2 people, correct?
It does. We're
So,
looking for
Well, hides 2 people more
Oh,
accurately.
yes.
so we would be going head on in there anyway.
Yes, but my thought was if he noticed that members of the church were on their way in, he might be more likely to launch a preemptive attack compared to adventurers just walking. Many adventurers walk these roads, I imagine. So adventurers walking the main road near his tower is unlikely to be that suspicious. Adventurers and a couple of members of the clergy give very different optics.
Mm.
It's for your safety as much as all of ours.
Mm-hmm.
We shall ask the temple and return if we are successful. If not, we go in without the protection. As long as you are all happy to do so.
Yeah, we'll think about it while you go discuss as well, in case it's bad news. 250 each, did you say?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That's a lot. That's more than half of the bounty.
You're right, it is.
Yes, go speak to them. We'll wait, I guess.
More convenient, head back to the temple, not to the temple, to the tavern. If we're successful, we can come back. We shouldn't need your accompaniment, and it leaves the rest of the afternoon free for your own activities.
Okay, no worries.
Enjoy your afternoon.
We'll do. As they start to head off, I'm gonna nudge Swan and be like, quietly, do you want to follow them and see where the fuck they're going?
Lime is very suspicious when we have been nothing but truthful with you as far as you've seen.
No. You guys have gone.
Yeah, this is Chris.
Oh. Yeah, but you guys have come back with a bounty from a temple. From a
yeah, we work for a
temple.
temple. And they're targeting the
How
clergy.
unusual would that be, Crispy, that, like, churches and stuff get directly involved with things like that?
So it's been known to happen.
Okay, for a noble?
Well, nobles, like the common folk, can often go astray.
Nobles
Okay.
can be dickheads too.
Okay. I mean, as a character anyway, she's pretty
Oh,
nosy,
yeah.
and they've been pretty, like, going, no, we don't want you to come with us. So Lee May's kind of like, oh, where's they going then? But she's not going on her own, because she'll just get.
Yes, I've been meaning to hone my skills somewhat. This could be a good chance.
Hey, nice. I don't know if Wide Eye's back. Is Jason back? Jason, are you back?
He hasn't posted anything yet.
No. Okay. I'm going to assume that Wide Eye's not coming with us. Oh god.
That infamously stealthy fellow.
Yeah. I mean, I'm.
Well, he can now when he's raging, actually.
Yeah.
Again, I do like the flavouring that it's just like people know he's there, they just choose not to make it their problem.
It is funnier than he taps into like primal hunting energies.
Yeah. No, instead he just looks like he's going to be more hassle than it's worth. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay,
Very great.
I think it's because we're used to everybody always spilling like we've kind of spilled our guts to each other already about all our problems. We're just not used to new people, so I think we're just being nosy. We've killed people together, it's fine.
We're offering that, but no, don't want to kill
Yeah.
people.
We want to know your insides and outs first.
It's almost like this maybe would have been a trial for us to trust you all.
Oh, for God's sake. Well,
It's not like we
done
were
it
really
now.
hiding that in our conversations, Ed.
No. But we killed pixies together. That should have been enough. But no, also you've been using necromancy and like
Yeah, that's fair.
that's also not great. So we're kind of like, okay, who are you guys?
Who the fuck are they?
Yeah.
No, I get it.
okay. So as the two of them set off, Lee May, you kind of broach this idea to Zwan, who seems fairly on board with the process. So, giving them a little bit of a head start, Zwan, you start to trail them. Now, obviously, you've done things like this before in your past life, so it's not a completely new skill to you. And the streets are fairly busy, which does help a little bit. But I'm going to need you to roll me a stealth, please.
Both of us.
Just Zwan, because he's, I'm assuming, going to be taking the lead on this. You
Yes,
follow
he is. Yes.
behind.
Yes. Yes.
Oh,
Oh no. Oh no.
13.
Okay. Shin, you notice that you're being followed. You don't make it obvious, but you have a little scan behind you, and you notice the particularly well-dressed member of your new companions trailing you at a distance of maybe about 60 meters. You make it look for, you haven't spotted him, and you kind of carry on. It seems Zhang Chen is currently unaware of his presence behind you.
If there's an opportunity to just sort of quietly lean into Zhang Chen and let him know, I will do. But I'm not going to rush to do so. I'm going to continue walking for a bit and
Okay, so you
yeah.
keep walking as you have been, and obviously you're far enough away that in the bustle of the crowd here, your slightly lowered voice isn't going to be at any risk of being heard, and you tell Sang Chen, obviously not to make it obvious and look, but that you're being trailed.
Oh, are our companions following us? They could have just asked. We did say we could show them the temple. Maybe not the whole temple, but...
Well, we keep going. We did tell them that the second stage of the temple would be out of reach to them.
We could invite them to the first level of the temple, as it were.
I don't want to embarrass them. Let's keep going for now.
Okay, so you guys
What a
keep
pain.
going, heading towards the
it?
temple.
Yeah.
You have no real urgency, nor do you make any attempts to shake your pursuers. Zwan, unaware of this, you keep at a distance to them, and you follow them to the steps of the temple of Ying Long. Obviously, being a large city. This is a large temple. The main entrance is up a series of steps, which puts you a bit more risk. But then at the same time, there are a lot of other worshippers coming and going. So you watch as these two enter the temple.
Probably as we go into the temple, we would move a little faster, I think. Like, them seeing the temple where we're going into is one thing, but seeing the way we go through the back, I think that's likely to end with things not great for them, given what we'd heard about the doorman.
Yeah, more them than us.
Yeah, so Zwan turns around to Lee May and gives like a thumbs up, like, this has gone so good. And I beckon her over so we can decide if we want to walk in the front door. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so at this point, Ching Shin and Zhang Chen, can you roll me a stealth, please?
Oh.
It's not gonna be good. Oh, fuck.
Love this. Shit.
Okay, so Zwan, by the time you get to the temple entrance, you peer inside, trying to get a glimpse over the heads of the various members of the congregation there. For a while, you think you'd lost them, but you just catch the slightest glimpse of the kind of a trailing edge of a black dress making its way behind a column, heading towards the side of the temple.
Over this way.
Lime's nodding. Like, yes, we've got him. Let's go. Why is it always me and Swan that gets in the fucky situation?
Yes, why is that? Hey, should we follow them? Yeah. How could this have possibly happened?
Hey, let's drink this hallucinogenic drink.
Yeah.
What could go wrong?
So, okay, so you speed up a little bit, Zwan, to try and catch up. And as you turn the corner, you can see that this a little patch of temple I've gone to seems to be more off limits to the general public. However, there aren't any immediate signs of any clergy here to stop you. And you can see it leads to a fairly sturdy-looking door at the other end of the cloister.
How stealthy do you feel?
I am ultra stealthy. Not, but I can try. Shall we? Well, I'm guessing they've gone to that door because that is the only door that's available. Yeah.
If we get caught, you can pretend you've caught me and escort me out.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so both of you roll me a stealth, please.
Good luck. Oh
no.
Okay, so in fact, actually, one moment before I do anything else, let me quickly check something.
Oh no. Oh wait.
Lee May, have you forgotten you're wearing chainmail?
Yeah.
Disadvantage on that, please.
Oh, I probably shouldn't have disadvantage on my earlier one. I can reroll mine again if you
fine,
want,
one of you
because
fill
I'm
in.
also in.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, it's a better roll.
Yeah, I'll roll mine
the
again.
other one.
I'll roll mine again as well in case I get lower than that 15. There we go, 6.
Okay, well, they already
bad.
know you've gone to this door, so that one's fairly irrelevant. Okay, so Lee May, The clinking of your armor is fairly loud in the temple.
I forgot.
So Zwan, you make your way kind of quickly to the door in front of you, moving a bit faster than Li Mei. Li Mei, as you're halfway across the corridor, a elderly woman in the robes of a nun kind of pops her head around from clearly some little bit that you hadn't noticed, where she appears to have been reading something. Can I help you, my dear?
Yes, please. I've lost my way with everything in life.
Lost your way? Oh, well, we can certainly help you with that. She stands and makes her way over to you, assisted by a cane.
Oh shit! Not that kind of way.
A walking cane. She's, I should say, like, like a walking stick, not like, the corporal punishment kind. Oh, I mean, I suppose,
We're back in Zed's box.
Don't worry, I'll beat the heresy out of you, child.
Dude, that's where I went. I immediately went, oh fuck.
So,
Sorry.
seems like people, hey. So she makes her way over to you and kind of takes you by the arm. And very slowly she starts to lead you towards what looks to be a confession booth. Zwan, you kind of see this unfold. You briefly make eye contact with Li Mei. It seems like she's probably going to be busy for a little while.
I give him the kind of deciding whether to do the shit no or the thumbs up. I don't want to leave him on his own.
It's all in the eyes. Just give me a certain look. And either I'll get it or I won't.
Just like a warning look of be careful or maybe back out.
You choose which one.
So they all look the same, panicked.
Just look of just be careful. Or yeah.
So Li Mei gives you something halfway between a scowl and a grimace. It seems that you might be on your own for the immediate future. But you get to the door otherwise unspotted.
Okay. Does this door have a keyhole? I'm assuming it's closed.
It is, yes. It does have a keyhole.
I'll just peek through the keyhole to see what I can spot.
Okay, so you peek through the keyhole and you see into a fairly, a fairly boring-looking room. To be honest, it looks like it's been used to house various tomes and scrolls that aren't required for immediate use, amongst a few other kind of miscellaneous items the temple may require. The only interesting thing is a very large hobgoblin who's kind of sat on the corner of a desk using a dagger to pick his teeth.
Shit.
There's no sign, however, of your two companions.
Interesting. I will not risk the wrath of a hobgoblin holding a dagger that he picks his teeth with. So I'm going
Bored hobgoblin, the worst kind.
I'm going to try and sort of slip back into the main area of the temple and just make it look like I'm having a look around.
Okay, so you do that. So meanwhile, Zhangshan and Xing, you guys have obviously been led back down into this cave once more.
Hello again.
Apologies to interrupt your work once more. We have taken a look at the costings for assistance from an artificer, and you are quite right, the amount is quite steep. We wanted to see if there was any funds available for this kind of work, to assist with paying those fees.
I think it would help aid suspicions of the party as well. I think that'll be most useful, but they're taking some time to come around.
Typically, they are being fairly resistant.
Well, we are fairly strapped for funding at the minute, but at the same time, it is a mission that would benefit us greatly. Let me see what I can do.
Wonderful.
I'm sure if we were able to cover the cost of one of them, the party would be more amenable to covering the cost of the other.
Even one would probably be beneficial to us.
I'm sure we could argue a reduction in the bounty as well, given that we've come back to the Temple of Yinglong for help.
So, after a bit of deliberation, he's willing to give you 200 gold pieces towards the cost of this.
How much gold have you got?
Less than 100.
That's not what I asked.
79.
Between the two of us, we can afford one.
Okay. That's not too bad. Yeah,
Yeah.
78. I lied.
Because I'm on 20-something.
I see.
So if you cover that extra 50,
Yeah.
both of us go down to about the same amount, and we can cover, with this fund, one of those necklaces. And that should help the party help us cover the other.
Yeah. Yeah. Or even just having one would make life beneficial, better, I think. Much less suspicious than
Yeah.
a pair of holy folk.
You covered especially.
I don't know what you mean.
I meant you're much more clerical
Yeah.
in appearance, clerical, whereas I'm much more martial.
The church certainly does have its share of the martially inclined.
Mm.
So it wouldn't be, it's not like, a cleric traveling with a warrior would be necessarily unusual or frowned upon.
No. But still, at least one of them being purchased would be good. If we can then buy the other one, it'd be even better. We'll thank him for the gold. Head out and leave.
Yeah, probably worth us being fairly eyes open about whether our companions are just going to be waiting for us to reappear, knowing that they followed us at least some of the way.
Yeah, I might, as we're walking back up the stairs, might knock on the. Actually, we would have told Ulvok on the way in that we think we're being followed, which is exactly why he was still in the room.
So, you guys make your way back up, and the door is unlocked for you. As you make your way back into the temple, you cast your eyes around. Both of you roll me a perception, please.
Okay.
Perception.
Nope.
So, having a quick glance around, neither of you spots any sign of, your travel companions in the gathered masses.
Let's return to the temple. Not to the temple. Once again, I've got the word wrong. Let's
Tavern.
return to the tavern, the other place of worship.
Interchangeable for Lime, really.
Yeah.
This is so true.
Okay, so you guys head back out. Zwan, from a more shaded part of the temple, you watch them go. Li Mei is still yet to emerge from her impromptu confessional.
Oh lord.
Come on, come
That's what she's
on.
saying at the moment.
I'm gonna give birth out of the confession. Going, yes, I get it. I'm gay. Right, move on. And then I'm gonna just try and find where Swan's gone.
Okay, so you burst out of this confessional.
You do it loudly enough that we hear?
Yeah, she does it loud enough. I'm pretty sure most of the temple hears. So you have quite a lot of eyes following you out as you storm away, Li Mei. But if anybody does have any issue with that, they're not willing to take it up with the angry lady in chainmail and with a large bone greatsword slung across her back.
That sounds like good self-preservation skills.
Mm.
Hell yeah. I'm guessing I find Swan pretty quickly.
I would have seen you leaving.
well,
I would have jumped
yeah.
in.
Yeah, Swan finds you. I think. Yeah, is more.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Well, what happens as you kind of leave? He kind of falls in line, falls in step with you. Almost kind of, not there 1 minute, and then you look back and there he is.
Is this happening as we're leaving the temple, or is this after?
This is a little after, so you don't notice the uproar.
Do we maybe hear like muffled shouting as we're walking out and just think, okay.
Just temple stuff. Makes sense.
Business as usual. Yeah,
Yeah.
particularly vigorous pasta.
Did you find anything? Are they gone? Are we following them again? What's going on?
Well, they were gone. That's the strange thing. That door they went through, there was some hobgoblin-y looking person in there, and that was it.
So you needed me to take him on. I get it. Damn it.
I would have done it myself, but I didn't want to take the glory away from you.
Ah, yeah. So are we going inside, or shall we follow them and not cause too much detriment?
I don't want to cause too much of a ruckus, especially when it's just the two of us.
You're right. It's not a tavern. I get it. Yeah. She's getting them confused again. Yeah, let's just head.
Let's go to
head
the
back
other
with
place
them
of
then.
worship.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll head back.
Cool.
Okay, so you guys make your way back. Zwan, you put your knowledge of the back streets to good use and find a slightly faster way. So you actually arrive back at the tavern moments before the other two do.
Again,
got us
sorry
2
to keep you
beers.
all waiting.
The street seems so busy this evening, or whatever time it is.
At the moment.
How about those sights, Li Mei? What a great walk we had, not near the temple.
Yeah, we got back just in time for a beer, and I put a beer in front of him.
I inspect it first to make sure it's not that stuff from the other town.
So, good news. The temple has agreed to cover one of the required necklaces.
Oh, right. Okay. That's a bit more.
Is that a better deal for you all? We'll pay
Sounds
for one of them, you'll pay for the other?
Yeah, sounds like a better deal. What do you think, guys?
Yes, that's a bit more palatable.
Elias, I can feel raging.
No, that's my nice shtick.
Hey.
Hey.
Well,
Okay,
let's
cool.
go
So
first thing tomorrow then.
Yep.
with us in agreement then, obviously, yes, you'll be a little bit safer against anything of that particular nature. So the evening now is kind of drawing in. The city itself doesn't necessarily quieten down, though. Again, large student nightlife crowd, so the tavern remains fairly busy. But obviously, yes, with a fair distance to travel to get to your destination, if you are planning to go tomorrow, then yes, a good night's sleep probably wouldn't do too much harm.
Yeah. Food and early to bed, I suppose.
Oh, yeah.
Food, yes.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna just like whisper to one, like, "Do you need help tonight, or you got it?"
I think I got this.
Go back to my beer then.
What a shame.
What a shame.
I know how things go when we're together. I'll go on my own.
Yeah, I've already proven that I am a shit companion.
Juan fully relying on stealth, and Lee May clunks along like with her pots and pans.
Hey, that could have gone a lot worse.
Bards would love you because you make for a great story.
Not wrong.
Fuck's sake.
All right. So you guys are going to take a long rest, and I believe, Swan, you intend to go hunting.
Yes, I will.
Okay, so as darkness falls, you make your way out of the tavern and start to kind of stroll through these back alleys. You find a spot that's going to be potentially hidden enough that somebody passing by wouldn't see you until they're practically on top of you. So you, I presume, are happy to wait here and perhaps use the alleys you're familiar with, or do you want to maybe speed things up and go actively looking for somebody?
No, I trust the scouting we did earlier, so I'll wait where I am.
Okay, cool. So you're waiting for perhaps 40 minutes before you kind of hear footsteps from the other end of the alley. It seems like a group is coming up from one side of this town, looking to head to the other. But as they're a little bit out of sight, you can hear them stop and start to have a little chat. You strain your ears and you just about make out one of them kind of saying to the other, "Oh, send me when you're home, just so I know you're safe." And then the other person, kind of, yes, I will. And then the footsteps seem to separate, with the larger group kind of going off back down the main street, and a lone pair headed down towards you. So, keeping yourself pressed into the shadows, you wait as this individual walks past you. And as they go by you, Zwan, you notice that it's clearly a student. It's clearly a student of some magical orientation as well, given the robes, but there's a kind of a satchel slung across her back, which no doubt contains scrolls or books or something like that. She's clearly not very old, maybe 19, 20 to push. Clearly quite oblivious, and from the way she's stumbling, perhaps a little bit tipsy.
Okay. By that description, I don't think I'm going to try anything too fancy. And I'll just see if I can sneak up behind her and get into position.
Okay, roll me a stealth, please. Okay, so you maneuver yourself into a position, kind of trailing her a few steps behind. Your footsteps are barely perceptible on the cobbles, and it seems that your quarry has not noticed your presence.
Nice. So without hesitation and any chance for her to suddenly notice me, I'll see if I can go for the neck.
Okay, roll me an attack, please.
Oh, what would that be? Just like a strength.
Unarmed, so yeah, got a strength.
Oh, it's +0 anyway. Right.
I think unarmed can be with Dex as well.
Well, that would be a 12 if it was with Dex.
Okay, so you leap from obviously your position close behind and kind of grab her. It takes her by surprise, clearly, and you just about manage to get like a hand around her mouth before she can scream. The sound now muffles as you sink your fangs into her neck from behind. Which doesn't make it easy for you, though. Resists quite a lot. The kind of thrashing, making it quite challenging to actually get the volume of blood you need. Is one, but after a few moments, the resistance seems to fade a little bit as clearly the blood loss takes effect on her.
As soon as I feel like the first hint of limpness is when I stop.
Okay, so you release her, wiping the blood from your mouth. She's however not in a good way. The struggling has caused the wounds in the neck to be significantly deeper and a lot more, should we say, nasty than it would usually be from, say, a sleeping victim. She's bleeding quite heavily.
Flashbacks. Christ. Is she like conscious or is she not?
Not at this point, no.
A
mixture of presumably the shock and the loss of blood.
So if I try and sort of stem the bleeding with some pressure and try and feed her a potion of healing that I've got, will that help in any way?
Yeah, okay, so you take kind of maybe the robes, the long kind of fabric of that, and press that against her neck, and with another hand reach for this potion, popping the cork and kind of bring that to her lips. Takes a while to kind of get it all into her, but eventually, the vial is empty, and after a few moments, as you take your hands away, it seems that the bleeding has stopped.
Phew. I'm going to put a gold piece in her satchel as a way of saying sorry, and then I'm going back to the tavern.
Right, okay. So, -1 gold piece, but with an evening meal acquired, you return back to the tavern and manage to kind of slip inside without drawing any suspicion or attention.
I'll give Lee May a look that says great success. Mission accomplished.
Great success! Lee May's just gonna give you thumbs up and kind of pats the bar stool next to her.
And I gladly join.
Okay. So, yes, with that all attended to then, you guys get your full long rest. And then, obviously, in the morning, make your way back to the market where you find the temple. Not the temple, sorry, the artificer, and you purchase those 2 amulets. So, if you make the necessary gold deductions, I'll give you those.
And I've just realised, Crispy, I have the lucky feet, so I could have re-rolled any of those.
I just realised I have the lucky feet as well, so I could have re-rolled my stealth.
Oh well.
Oh well, we live and we learn.
It is what it is.
Kinda lucky, but not for you guys.
All right, so I'm going to give one of those to Yu Jingxin, and then I'll give the other one to, should we say, Zwan for the time being. Just for you could obviously distribute these as and when, but just so that you've got the items.
Perfect. And then how much gold did I need to add onto that? 50 was it? It was 250?
250 the cost of
Cool.
each.
Yeah. So I'll pay the other 50.
And then the other from the party stash that the other 2 don't know about.
Yeah. So untrustworthy.
We have every right to be untrustworthy. We have every right.
Don't know what you mean.
You know exactly what I mean. This party has been through absolute shit. Not always by their own, means, but we try our best, I guess.
Okay, so with those items now in your possession, you guys have a mission to accomplish.
Yeah, I guess head straight out. Possibly find somewhere to stay en route or
Wizards
camp
wait
en
for no
route,
man.
and then tackle it in the morning, and then we can get a full, distance between us again on the way back.
Isn't it the morning? Already.
But it's going to be
yes.
like a full day's ride approximately there.
Oh shit, okay. Ignore me, yeah. Okay. Yes. Let's go with your plan.
Yeah, I don't think this is the kind of thing that we want to start like after night's falling, given that we don't know what we're walking into.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's get moving then, I guess.
Okay, so you guys make your way. Obviously, you've got the carts that you kind of rode in on. So you make your way out of the city with that. Now, it's an imperial highway, so you have no real problem with your travelling. It's quite a busy road, but as a result of that, it's obviously very safe too. The only potentially interesting thing you notice is there is quite a lot of, should we say, military traffic heading east. Quite a lot of columns of troops marching towards Kaifeng. you notice.
Mm.
But they don't bother you, and the other travellers of roads just part to let them pass, and then carry on as if this is kind of fairly standard business.
Interesting.
So the day draws on before you guys really kind of get to the point where you need to leave the highway. Now, Zhang Chen, you were kind of given a set of directions, if you will, from Valfun to lead you towards this tower. So you turn off the road and make your way down through what appears to be some sort of, not quite marshland, but it's not great terrain. It's a bit wet underfoot. The cart starts to slow down a bit as the road kind of turns more into just a track. But it does at least seem to be, at least somewhat travelled, because the cart doesn't sink in at any point, thankfully. But a few more hours of this, and a tower comes into view in the distance, perched atop a little rocky outcrop slightly above the rest of this marshland.
I have a feeling there's our mark. Chingshin, amulet working?
Amulet is on, and I don't know how would we know if it's working?
You've got it on comfortably at least.
Yeah, I've got it on.
Who had the other one again?
Me.
One.
That makes sense. The sneaky man is now extra sneaky.
Might be an idea to keep him like that.
Mm. Plum being a nuisance in the background.
Yeah, sorry.
It's okay.
I'm like, Plum, I can't believe it.
It was just Joan's little noodle in the background.
Ooh.
That's why I'm muted most of the time, so that you can't hear it.
I had music for this. Why is there no music playing? One moment.
Mhm.
It should be playing. Anyway. So yes, you see the tower ahead of you, perched in a little kind of rocky outcrop above the swamp. Fairly sizable in its appearance, but also quite plain. Doesn't really give too much away as to its purpose. Obviously, you guys know what the purpose is, but to a traveller maybe on the road, just looking at it, it could be a number of different things potentially. Whether this is by design or not, who knows?
Hmm.
Can we see any movement?
The only movement you can see are the flock of birds that appear to be roosting in its kind of broken roof tiles and the spaces hidden therein.
How do we want to do this? Are we doing this quietly or are we doing this loud?
Well, we have the amulets. It would be rude to not do it quietly.
Well then, Juan, be my guest.
Yeah, well,
He's from what I know, he's a mage proficient in divination and scrying magics, but I imagine he's got other ways to protect himself as well. So do be careful.
I like that. Just have at.
Wait, is Juan's not going on his own, is he? What?
Do I look like the stealthy type?
Do I look like the stealthy type? Yes, I
The
do.
question is,
No,
how
you
are we approaching this? Like, are we walking up and knocking on the door? Are we trying to infiltrate? a combination of the two of those, like.
What? Are we scouting it out first, or are we? Well, the thing is, he can now see everything we're doing.
Mm.
This is the thing. So,
Lee May,
mhm.
is this the wizard's house or is it just like a place of work?
I don't know.
I guess we'll find out.
I believe he's been holed up here for a while.
Okay. Does that mean it's
Does-
his? Yeah. Is it his home, or is it his? Is he in
I-
Is
Does
it
he
a
work from
prison?
home?
I
Is it
guess
a
he's
prison?
I guess he's currently residing here. Why? What difference does it make?
Oh, I said it quietly to
Well-
Lee May.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Tax
I will.
status would be one difference.
Well, I'm just wondering, like, yeah, is it? Yeah, is there any guards?
You see no sign of any movement.
Okay.
It appears abandoned as far as the untrained eye would suspect.
Oh. I'm gonna say there's one. Seems like he's in hiding.
Great. Well, we'll find out soon enough, won't we?
You know what? We could just like walk in and pretend we're. I don't know. Hmm. Ooh. I don't like making decisions. They always go wrong. Please, someone else make a decision.
If he knows, he's likely to know we're nearby at this point.
That's the thing.
Is it worth us going in through the front door while you try and find a back entrance? Which one?
Why don't the two hidden people go together, and the rest of us go in? No.
She's not hidden. She's just not.
Yeah.
She's not hidden per se, but she's also just not armored like we are.
So wouldn't it be best for the people who are hidden from the scrying be together? No?
I see what you mean.
So that they're a surprise?
I don't know. No, I makes sense.
Cool.
I'm
Up to
happy
you.
with that.
Cool.
Okay.
Is Jason here? Given that there may be a combat ensuing.
Yeah, mate.
Nice.
It's not been a very wide eye session so far.
Oliver's
So,
talking.
technically, we're talking about stealth.
Exactly. You are the second stealthiest one here.
Yeah, I was gonna say Wide Eye'll do better than I will, probably.
But he will see you coming, so it's possibly worth you coming in the front door with Lee May and I. Three big beefy lads knocking on the door. Hello.
Baby
Aw,
Sophie's.
On your scrap
Oh.
metal.
Oh, God. I was thinking we go in pretending to like make this place our own because it looks abandoned. So
Yeah.
maybe we're just looking for
Uh,
stuff.
We could do, however, knowing what we know, it's probably not a good idea just walking in there.
Yeah. Point. I'm never good with magic, so
Let's
I
go
know
in
a
and give it
guy.
a go.
I know a guy who's good with magic, but he's hungover as shit right now.
Let's go in then. Let's
Yeah.
wander up to the front door. He knows we're here.
Could just knock, see what happens.
Yeah.
The other two go around the back.
Cool.
All right.
Okay,
Like
so three of you walk up to the front door. Lee May, as you go to knock on it, the door swings open, causing you to kind of rap at the air. Inside, you see that the bottom floor here is set up almost like a kind of a reception area, as if the occupant were expecting guests. However, as far as you can see, there is nobody here actually opening the door for you. In fact, the only sense you get that this place might be occupied is a solitary figure stood at the other end of the room in what appears to be an incredibly intricate silk gown. Although you can't make out their face, as it appears to be veiled with, again, more silk. But they make no kind of signs of shock or surprise at your presence. In fact, they make very little in the way of motion at all.
Hello.
The figure doesn't respond to you with words, merely bows low to you and kind of dips their head a little before assuming, a perfectly postured, straight, upright position.
Our apologies. We thought this tower was uninhabited. We were looking for a place to rest for a few days. It's been a long journey.
The figure, if it hears you, makes no indication that it's listened, merely standing politely.
Are we okay to come in?
With that, the figure kind of gestures towards a plinth in the centre of a room where you can see that there are what appear to be 3 holes in the top of it.
Before I walk in, can I see if there's any traps that are immediately obvious?
Roll me an investigation, please. Okay, so Lee May, you take a good long look. Obviously, this is a little bit strange, so it's obviously probably something that you're going to be a little bit skeptical about. But as far as you can see, there is no obvious sign of any, kind of impending danger or traps. You see no tripwires nor any, kind of tiles on the floor that look out of place. There's nothing suspended from the ceiling, waiting to fall on unsuspecting visitors. As far as you can see, this is a, pretty normal entrance.
I'll look to Zhang Chen and kind of shrug.
Everyone stay near me. Bask in Yinglong's protection. Trepidatiously walk in. And approach the plinth.
Okay, so meanwhile,
follow.
Zwan and Wide-Eye, you obviously, being the sneaky ones, going around the back.
King Jin.
Oh, sorry, got that wrong. So you two watch as the others kind of enter the tower. Now there is no obvious sounds of conflict or alarm, so it seems at least they've managed to successfully make entry. Now, looking around the outside of the tower, you can see that the ground floor at least has no discernible ways in. It is, however, quite a old structure and is weathered accordingly. So, Zwan, you don't think it would be impossible, perhaps, to scale the outside, at least to some degree?
How is your climbing?
Probably not as good as yours.
Follow my lead. I think I can make it.
Okay.
Okay. So back to the interior. The three of you walk towards this plinth, which is kind of halfway between you and the figure at the other side of the building. It's stone and it's kind of raised, clearly an important feature. And as you draw nearer, you see these three holes look surprisingly similar to keyholes, only they are in the surface of this plinth, kind of facing downwards. So you'd have to put like a key down into it. And from the looks of it, there are 3 keys.
Yeah. We seem to be missing the proper method of entry.
So
I'll
the
approach. Oh, God.
I was going to say, so the figure watches you with very little display of any sort of interest or emotion as you approach and examine this plinth.
Failing to see anything, I'm going to approach the figure.
It does not appear to be intimidated by your presence, doesn't react.
Is it got like a cloak over it or something? Or
No, it's in a kind of like a full imperial silk gown, so long sleeves down to the floor, and then this veil over its face as well. It's kind of got its hands kind of almost tucked into the opposing sleeve in that kind of very dignified manner that somebody maybe accustomed to court proceedings would be familiar with.
I'm going to try and lift the veil on the face.
So you approach the figure, that again does not appear to react. And reaching out, you lift the veil to reveal what appears to be a mannequin.
Just who or what are you?
By way of answer, the mannequin doesn't seem to be bothered particularly by the invasion of personal space, but it pulls an arm out from its other sleeve and gestures towards a wall where it appears a doorway has appeared.
Seems to be our way forward, folks.
Onwards then. I will
Onwards.
keep looking for traps as well, just in case.
And give a small sort of nod bow to the mannequin. Thank you, Mr. Mannequin.
Okay. So outside, Zwan, I'm going to assume that you are intent on climbing, and obviously with your talents and equipment, that's going to be fairly trivial for you, so I won't make you roll for that.
Before he starts scaling, I'll make sure that we've got a length of rope between the two of us so that I can sort of use that to aid my ascent.
Okay. So you secure one end to yourself, the other to Zwan, and then Zwan sets off in the lead. So again, it's a fairly trivial climb. As I say, this tower is quite weathered, so the stone that makes up its exterior has quite a few little nooks and crannies for you to find purchase on. So making your way up, Zwan, you kind of scale the first floor. The second floor, so the ground floor, you go up that and then get to the first one, where you can see that the windows are actually all boarded up. To the point where you can't really see anything inside. But ascending that to the next level, you notice the windows are taller and a bit grander. These ones, however, are not boarded off. But as you look inside, you can see that the room is empty completely. It's just floorboards and dust as far as you can see.
Me, sure this is the right place? It's empty.
I'm gonna nod.
Do we go in or do we wait for signs of the others?
When? Yes, go in.
Okay. I'll try and find a suitably large window that we can access through.
Okay, so these windows are large, probably maybe 2 or 3 body lengths tall. Nor do they appear to be ones that open. They appear to be fixed glass panes. However, they are dusty and haven't been cleaned in a while. There are a few breaks in places, not enough to fit through on their own, but as if somebody like a delinquent might have thrown a pebble at them.
Yeah,
Too hard.
Yeah, I'll get out my dagger and with like the hilt just start chipping away at some of those cracks and trying to widen them, hopefully enough to get us through.
Okay, so you do that, and Chingshin, you use that opportunity to kind of catch up to him.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so back in the entrance hall of the tower, this mannequin gestures towards this door. Zhang Chan.
Yeah, we will progress towards the door.
So, opening the door reveals a small staircase which appears to spiral upwards to clearly the higher level.
Everyone stick with me and start heading up the staircase.
Yeah, I keep close behind him.
Okay, so you guys make your way up these stairs. They creak a little bit as you go up. Wooden and clearly quite old. But as you go up, you don't have to go too far. It's clearly only maybe a story higher, perhaps. But the top of the staircase deposits you in what appears to be a library. In fact, the entire ring of the tower, tower's outer wall, is, from the looks of it, stacked with bookcases. In the centre of the room is a large statue of a stone wizard reading a book. The area is lit by one kind of, from the looks of it, luminous sphere suspended in the air by some unknown means, casting, kind of a small area of bright light, but the rest is very dim.
This place is weird, Sancheng.
This is what happens when you dabble with wizards.
Yeah.
No good person would be living here.
They must be very lonely.
My understanding is wizards often enjoy that.
Mm.
Okay, so all 3 of you in the tower, please roll me a perception.
Nah. I'm studying the statue. Or not.
Ooh,
if it's the
dirty
statue
20.
that- Oh, nice!
Okay, so Wide-Eye, as the others are kind of whispering to themselves as they look around, you're the only one to notice that you're not alone in here. You sense that something is the other side of this wizard statue.
Wide Eye will kind of like slowly move towards it, kind of like one hand on the hilt of his axe, and like kind of circle around it to see what is there.
Okay, so Wide Eye, as you make your way around carefully, you kind of assume a stance of readiness just in case. As you creep around the statue, you notice what appears to be a large kind of. Well, it's unlike anything you've ever seen before, a Wide Eye. It appears to be, first of all, floating. Second of all, very large, but it's kind of like a circular mass with lots of little tendrils coming out of it. At the end of each of which appears to be a milky, kind of spherical orb. It appears to be floating almost aimlessly around the this kind of room here. It doesn't seem to be aware of you.
Let's see if Curse of the Cleric strikes again.
Don't say that. We're not talking about it.
I was muted. Yeah, he'll be kind of like staring at it and just very slowly and carefully step back, and gesture towards the other two.
This is why I've never associated with wizards if I can help it. The Elias folk that you guys hang out with seems to be of a good sort, but they're often strange folk who don't hold much belief or respect for the gods. Zhang Shen is saying to Li Mei in the meantime.
Well, Li Mei's not going to know what the fuck it is. So Li Mei's going to be like, what the fuck is that?
Oh, we've not noticed yet, Zed. We're
Okay, okay.
we're discussing the statue.
I thought Wide Eye was gesturing for us to look.
Yeah, he's like, without trying to say a word, just frantically waving his hand. Like,
Yeah, I thought that's what he was doing. So I was like,
You've noticed that I am currently fixated in conversation and the statue, hence my 3.
Ah.
So Li Mei, you notice that something has got Wide Eye spooked a little bit, which is rare enough in itself that it gets your attention.
I look to see what he's gesturing to.
You see this thing as it starts to float around the statue. As it kind of turns around, you see it has a large central eye. This too appears to be quite milky in nature.
What the fuck is that?
Perhaps more alarming for you is the vast maw beneath said eye with teeth, which, you know, each one of them is about as long as your forearm.
What is that?
What's
Yeah, Li Mei's be freaking the fuck.
That I believe is going to be a problem.
The
Have at it then.
creature floats by a little bit, and as it kind of rounds to the point where it probably should see you, it just kind of carries on its little patrol. It passes by unnervingly close. A few of these almost like tentacle-like appendages kind of gently swaying to and from. One of them almost kind of looks straight through you, Li Mei, and you notice that it's also, quite a milky eyeball as well in there. Clearly this thing is perhaps handicapped in some way.
Does it almost look blind?
Well, either blind or indifferent to your presence.
Are we not worthy of its attention? Or something?
Wide Eye, You do notice something though, as it kind of comes around the wizard statue, and you get a good look at its mouth. You notice that dangling from the back of its throat appears to be a silver key on a little string.
Ah, fuck. Let's see how good the other two are at charades. In fact, he's going to kind of gesture towards Neck and then kind of like a locking, like unlocking a door symbol. Like twisting his hand like he's unlocking a door.
I'm going to see what he's trying to look at. And signal to.
So with 13, Lee May, you just see teeth.
I'm going to just like shrug at wide-eyed and shake my head. What?
To which he'll continue to like point at it with both hands, being like, that thing. And then point at his neck. And then do the little twisty hand like a door again.
I like the thought of him actually saying out loud that thing.
Do I get what he's trying to say, Crispy? Can I?
Roll me an insight, please.
Okay. Oh, for fuck's sake.
Reroll.
Gonna be aided by rolling a performance.
Wait, no, I don't want to use a lucky on this.
Lee May, it appears that Wide Eye is trying to tell you that you should wring this thing's neck, which is going to be quite challenging because it doesn't have one.
I'm gonna just mime back to him, like kind of snapping neck motion and then thumbs up.
Oh, wait a minute. Just to confirm, off table, did you mean... do you mean that, or do you mean the statue?
What?
To Crispy, when he said that I could see the key, did he mean the statue or the big floating ball?
A big floating ball.
Ah, okay, it's that thing. For a moment, then I was like, wait a minute, neck. Yeah, it doesn't have one.
Yeah.
My entire
Crispy
world
just
fell
masterfully
apart.
debated us.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a beholder and there's a key inside the mouth. Why don't you?
For
What are you
fun.
trying to discuss? I don't understand.
Can I do a performance?
Why
To
not?
try and fully explain it through, I don't know.
Interpretive
somewhere
dance.
between. I was going to say interpretive dance,
Right,
yeah.
okay.
Somewhere between.
Yeah, roll me that, please.
-3.
Oh, God.
Okay, so Wide Eye channels into his ancestors' primal energy. Unfortunately, none of them were drama students, so you fail to get your desired point across as coherently as you would like, leaving Lee May clearly with that confused interpretation she's just come to.
So we just need to kill it then, right? Is that what you're saying? That's what you're saying. Okay.
Why that's kind of like shrugs and he's like, good work.
Is this one we want to do with just us three, or should we get the other two in first?
Well, they're squishier than us.
Hopefully we can stay in the way, though. This looks like
They would make for very effective shields.
Christ.
Okay, meanwhile, Zwan, you finally punched a hole big enough to allow entry to this tower.
As much as I want to be careful, I would trust that a fixed window wouldn't have a trap behind it. So I'm just going to try and climb in.
Okay, so you climb through and land on floorboards, which are covered in, a very thick layer of dust. The air in here, smells pretty foul. It's quite stale. It seems that this room has been unoccupied for quite some time.
The coast is clear.
I'll follow in.
Okay, so as you two enter, you have a look around. Not only has it not been lived in, it clearly has been maintained either. There are quite a few gaps in the floor where wood has rotted away and fallen through.
Can we see the room below? And is that one empty also?
So the room below you peer into, that appears to be in a similar condition to the one you're in.
Seems like there's not much at all here.
Maybe we are wrong then. Maybe it isn't this place.
Perhaps we could find some stairs. Meet up with the others.
Yeah. Is there any obvious stairway anywhere?
So there are a pair of stairs, one heading up, the other heading down.
Let's head down.
Yes.
So heading down leads to the room below, where you can see that this is just as decrepit as the room above. Interestingly, from here there is no staircase down to the ground floor.
That seems... It fills me with concern.
Perhaps there is some strange layout where we have to go up to go back down.
Do we think continue up then?
I see no other choice, really.
Okay, back in
It would be that or circle back round outside.
True.
Back in the library, the creature is continuing on its seemingly perpetual patrol here.
Can we see any stairs from where we are?
Only the ones that you climbed up to get here.
Well then, I think we know what we're going to have to do.
The creature suddenly stops. A few of its tentacles all seem to move in unison, kind of scanning the area ahead of it. It opens its main eye a little wider. And you guys all feel a little bit... In fact, actually, no, you probably wouldn't. Only you, I think, Zhang Chang, would feel something start to wash over you. Something that feels like, a presence that you've been familiar with. Almost like, something that's been persistently there to the point where you barely even recognize it anymore, is now gone, and its absence is incredibly loud. But this thing has paused and appears to be almost scanning for something.
I'm going to draw my mace and gesture for everyone to back up towards the stairway.
Yeah.
Just a quick one, actually. Crispy, are you able to boot me? My browser crashed, and now when I try and join, it says I'm already in the game.
All right, let me see if I can do that. Okay, there you go. Let me
Aha.
try that.
Yeah, bingo. That's worked. Loading tower. Yeah, cool. Back in.
Okay, so you guys obviously see Zhang Cheng, you know, get visibly quite uncomfortable and gesture towards the stairs.
We follow suit. I draw my sword. Well, my huge, bony thing.
Okay, so I'm going to need all of you to roll me a stealth, please.
Bonus action
worry.
rage. Bonus action rage.
Don't forget, Zara. We roll at disadvantage.
But you do
Ow.
have lucky.
That's a nat. I don't. That's a nat
That's
one.
a nat one.
Oh shit.
Well,
Okay,
Man, do I really need to roll? Do I even need to roll at this point?
at,
Oh, it's
at this
fucked.
point, at this point, no. So
You're welcome, Jason. Saving your energy.
Cheers, pal.
okay, so
Wait. I may still want a bonus action rage first.
tell you what, let me pull you guys into a new room. 1 moment.
I'll walk out of the room
I'm
and then
just gonna,
I don't hear Chris. Do you want a snack?
Yeah, please.
so
What would you
that
like?
can see
We're
if you want
okay.
there. Okay, so Zhang Cheng, your attempts to move stealthily, I'm afraid, just are not anywhere close to sufficient. The creature sees you, or hears you, or in some way perceives you. However,
Probably
he does
hears I
this.
trip over something.
And 3 of his eyes on the stalks immediately hone in on your general direction, and he is going to roll to see exactly what he is going to be casting at you. So,
do you want us to roll initiative or after this?
we'll do it after this.
Okay.
So, first roll is going to be a disintegration ray, starting strong, followed by
Shit.
slowing ray, and then finished off with a paralyzing ray. Okay, so first of all, we are going to do disintegration ray. So I need you to make a DC 16 Dex save throw, please.
Do I still have my Aura of Protection active?
You will not, because you are currently in a cone of anti-magic.
I thought that might have been the case. So I'll roll that just as is. Dex save. Yeah, no.
Okay, so I'm afraid you are going to take 10d8 force damage.
Yep, this is gonna hurt.
And should this reduce you to 0, it will also reduce you to a pile of fine grey dust. So think lucky thoughts.
Oh, I am still on 10 health. What? Force damage you said as well, it wasn't.
Force damage, yes, please.
Yeah, I am still on 10 health.
Okay,
Oh.
so next is the slowing ray. So again, DC 16 Dex, please.
Nope.
Okay, so for 10 minutes, your speed is halved and you are not able to take reactions. And you can only take an action or a bonus action. You get to save that every end of your turn, though.
Okay.
And finally, paralyzing ray. So that is going to be DC 16 con this time.
Yeah, I think there's a slow. There is not a slow. Okay. Con though should be a bit better, hopefully. No. Well, a bit better. Not enough, a bit better.
I'm afraid not quite, yes. So, you are paralyzed as well. So, Zhang Chen, you are thoroughly blasted. The auras that you usually count on do you no good in this thing's milky gaze. Whatever that is, it seems to have stripped you of that protection. Now we will, all of us, roll initiative, please.
Does slower have any effect on initiative, or is it
Not
just
on
movement
initiative.
speed?
No, you're just obviously paralyzed. So
There doesn't seem to be a slow,
that's
so
fine.
I'm going to put on hovering. I'm not
Okay.
hovering, but it's got a foot on it.
I'm assuming myself and Juan don't need to roll initiative.
No, you guys are outside. I've made this non-token vision so that you can see what's happening.
Awesome. Appreciated.
Nothing good.
No. No.
I swear I used to have a button for initiative, which I cannot find anymore.
If you right-click on the sword, you'll pop up the combat tracker, and then there's also just a button on there for you to just roll initiative through the combat tracker.
Aha, yes, there is.
Okay, so unfortunately, Chris, as the Beholder is going first, the others haven't had a chance to make themselves known to the Beholder.
Okay.
No.
So I hate to do this to you, but all three are going to be heading your way. So let's see what you get. First one is going to be a Charm Ray.
Okay.
Why am I rolling as you? That's
I just
definitely not what I should be rolling. Anyway, so Charm Ray followed by a Death Ray,
Oh shit.
followed by, not that I think this will be necessary, a Sleep Ray. Okay, so Charm Ray first. You must succeed on DC 16 Wisdom saving throw or be charmed by Beholder for 1 hour, or until it harms you.
I don't think I get
So
anything.
get your nat one out of the way right now.
Yeah, I don't think I've got anything that stops me from being
I
charmed.
think until it harms you is going to be a very short amount of time.
Actually, that's a very good point. You're paralyzed. You're not. You're going to also fail the dex.
Oh dear.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I am.
Shall we just get this out of the way then?
Let's go through. Yeah.
It.
Yeah, paralyzed does mean I auto fail strength and dex saves.
What does a death ray do?
Well, we're about to find out, Zed. That's what's coming next.
Nothing good.
So I'm now charmed.
So you're now charmed, paralyzed, slowed,
Yeah.
and then also fail this. So you're going to take 10d10 necrotic, and should this reduce you to 0, it will kill you dead, I'm afraid.
Fuck.
We're 10d10. I mean, I'm on 10 health. I can't survive this.
Okay, so Lee May,
Oh no! I
wide
could have done
eye.
a good roll really badly.
you guys watch in horror as this thing pelts Zhang Cheng in rapid succession with 6 rays of light of varying colours. It strikes him pretty much all over, but his armour offers him no protection. You watch as he crumples down into a pile in front of you, just not moving at all.
Shit.
But that is the end of its turn, so Wide-Eye, you're up.
Oh, good.
Oh, joy.
What?
Well, fuck.
What?
Let me get up my spreadsheet of character ideas.
Yeah.
His body's
Time machine.
Is his body still there?
Yes.
Yeah, so I've got
Okay,
a pile of
okay.
ash.
It's not a pile of ash. We can work with that.
Yeah, I'm just a corpse.
Can we? Can we?
Maybe. Maybe.
Without being funny. Yeah, Wide Eye's
Run.
just seen that happen and he's like, stunned beyond belief. He's like, Lee May, I don't think we can take this one.
Run. Yeah.
Without being funny, yeah. He's just gonna fucking, is it around here?
Yeah.
I'm assuming the stairs. Yeah. He's gonna use his 40 foot and he's like, nope.
Sorry if you can hear my dog.
Does that mean that last ray didn't affect me because I'm now considered an object, not a creature?
Well, yes, you are, but this one's a corpse rather than a person, so... Okay,
I'm
so
guessing
Wide
it's my
Eye,
turn?
you haul ass and basically hurl yourself down these stairs before this thing can kind of bring those beams to bear on you.
Is it my turn?
It is, yes.
Yes. Okay. Sorry, I couldn't tell the combat track. Well, it was not really a combat tracker.
Oh, yeah, sorry, that's...
What I just.
Oh, yeah.
Oh no! Please God no. Okay. Yeah, I'm just going to. How big? Okay, Zhang Chen's really quite large, isn't he?
He's big, yeah.
I'm both large and dead.
Fuck. It. I wanted to drag his body. Fuck. I don't think I'm gonna be able to do that. Oh my god, no. Okay. No, I'm just going to. Oh no. Yeah, I'm gonna run. I
No.
can't. I wouldn't be able to pick up his body, would I, Crispy, and be able to.
Well, he's in pretty substantial armor and he's heavy set as is, so I'll let you roll for it, but it's gonna be a hard roll.
I don't. Yeah, I think and without his I can't do it. Even without all of the extra stuff as well. Oh, I'm sorry, Chris. I'm gonna run as well. And just fully sprint dash out of there, use everything I can, and follow Wide Eye out. I'm not messing about with that. That was the most terrifying thing I've ever seen.
Okay, so you two burst out into this waiting room. The mannequin appears indifferent to your passing.
I'm gonna push the mannequin over while I run.
Roll me a strength, please.
Oh fuck. Why do I do things when I'm angry?
Don't worry, Zara.
It's good character acting, that's why.
If is that an athletics, would you say?
Go on, I'll let you have athletics for that one.
Cool. Fuck. Oh
So
wait,
give it a good-
lucky.
Okay. This is what
You
you
know
Might as well lose it. Shouldn't work.
Crispy, have you met Zara?
Well, true.
And then I'm gonna do that again. It's gonna be shit, isn't it? It's gonna be shit.
No.
Oh, nat 20.
Oh.
Okay, so Lee May, you go to push this thing over. You give it a good shove, and it appears to be disproportionately solid for its kind of stance and how how it's built. But you're pretty pissed off now, so pulling back, you just give it a good old "this is Sparta" kick to the chest, and it kind of falls over with a very satisfying clang. It still maintains its posture, however, just now horizontal rather than vertical.
She's to say twat and run out the door.
Okay, so Zwan, Qingshen, you from your position up in the tower, you kind of hear a very hurried exit, and kind of looking out the window you came in, you see Wide Eye and Lee May kind of barreling out down back towards the marshland.
I think that's
Immediately
time
head
to
for the
leave.
window, I think.
Yeah.
Yes.
Be careful. The way down is harder than the way up.
So sort of a swift abseil down, I think, is the
Oh
order
yeah,
of
we
business.
got a rope. We can just abseil.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys tie that off to something sturdy, probably a floorboard or something, but or a joist, something that's going to hold your weight, and you abseil down, saving you a bit of time. So you find yourselves maybe 100 meters behind the others as you start to kind of hightail after them.
Where is Zhang Chen?
I don't know where the hell you got this from, but that beholder just destroyed whoever that man is.
You don't know what it
dude.
is. You don't know it's a beholder.
Sorry, that thing!
What thing?
Sorry. It was a ball of light with an eye.
I mean, I would have said a ball of eye with lights, but
Yes. It was
Wait,
not.
he's dead? I'm gonna go in.
I knew that was going to happen.
Yeah.
All right, so you guys kind of make your way back into the entrance hall. The mannequin is, of course, still on its side. The doorway is nowhere to be seen.
Ah,
Where is he?
What do you mean? I'm right here.
What the?
You guys
Are you
spin
dead?
around and see Zhang Chen kind of stood there looking slightly confused.
Why are you two here? I thought you were going around the back.
The others came out thinking we're dead. I'm gonna try and check him over, like, see how he's doing, like, health-wise,
Yeah,
if he's
sure.
taking any damage.
Roll a medicine for me.
what the fuck?
So you give him a fairly thorough, or at least as best you can do while he's still obviously fully armoured, checkup, and there's no, kind of holes in the armour to suggest any, penetrating hits. There's no obvious sign of any injury. In fact, he's as good as he's ever been by the looks of things.
Did you guys breathe in some strange gas or something?
No.
What are you on about? We went into the library and then came out back here.
No. You're not speaking like you used to.
That's because I'm confused. You all just said I'm dead.
You were dead. We saw you die.
I look pretty okay for being dead.
Yeah, he's perfectly healthy as far as I can tell. How very strange.
Someone gives Lee May a look to say, didn't Elias say something about necromancy with these people?
a very specific look there.
No, it's the one who said that out loud, actually.
You're gonna say that to me?
Yeah, to Lee May.
Here.
Did you bring him back to life or something outside? Do you have like necklaces or something that have like a reincarnation spell or some shit? I don't know.
I think you would have noticed me doing that. No.
I really don't trust you guys right now, I'm gonna be honest.
Well, I thought he was just as dead as he was. Did you kill him?
No!
Because you said there was a door. Where is the door?
The mannequin showed us the door.
Of course, the mannequin showed us the door. Why wouldn't he have shown you the door? No, I didn't bring him back to life. I was with Juan the whole time. You've been watching me. God knows if I could get it on a necklace, that would be fantastic. Seems like there's a lot of hazards around here.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on, guys, but I really don't like this, and I'd rather not. Lee May's gonna go over and poke Zhang.
He's
yeah.
definitely there.
All right, she's.
Wide-Eye, this reminds me a lot of your box.
Yeah.
I don't think he would fit in it.
Zhang Chen, what did you say the last thing you remembered was?
We walked into the library. There wasn't really anything there. We walked back out.
And the two of you, what happened from your perspective?
We walked into the library, and there was a thing. There was a statue, and then behind the statue, there was a thing with teeth and a big eye, and then it suddenly noticed us. Well, it noticed Zhang Cheng, and it destroyed him in front of our eyes. That's why we were running outside. That's why Zhang Chen wasn't with us outside.
This is so strange.
Either way, if we come across, I really don't like this mission. I don't know. Creeping me the fuck out.
How did the mannequin show you the door when it is lying down?
Because I kicked it as I left because I was angry.
Perhaps he needs to stand up again to show us the way.
Before you go back in, hold on. I'm gonna cast Detect Magic just to determine like if there's anything weird like lingering on Zhang Chen.
Okay, so Detect Magic.
I
You
will.
cast.
Yeah.
You cast Detect Magic, and there is nothing untoward happening with Zhang Cheng. However, the mannequin itself is incredibly lit up, as far as you can see, with the aura of magic. As is the entrance to the door leading in from the Martian that you've all walked through.
Oh. With Detect Magic, you get the School of Magic. What am I seeing from this?
So the door is divination.
Oh, okay.
And then the mannequin is. I don't know what that would class as actually. Whether that would be conjuration. Probably conjuration for the mannequin, I would say.
Okay. Before we go further, unsurprisingly, there is a lot of magic here, and I'll relay the information that I've just discovered.
It seems like clearly this guy is whoever this guy is very good with what he knows, and so he can, well, put tricks
Him
into our
protecting
minds.
his abode is not unsurprising.
No. Well. Shit.
Crying amulets don't look so bad now. But that doesn't explain what happened.
No. Doesn't.
From what you're all saying, magical fuckery. I think it's probably best we stick together from now on.
Yes. Well, we left a rope around the side.
The rooms were just empty, though. Unless that's something to do with our amulets.
Perhaps, actually. Is it worth, rather than staying together, Joanne and I taking a little journey into that room, seeing what it looks like for us, and then immediately coming back out to let you know how it was for us?
I thought that when we went back in, the doorway wasn't there.
It
Let's
isn't.
stand the mannequin back up then, I guess. And see if that helps. I did hear someone mention that.
Lee May's just going to be in the corner, just like grumbling that she made perfect work of kicking it over, but whatever.
Okay, so the mannequin is pretty hefty. It takes, the combined efforts of Wide Eye and Zhang Chen to get it back on its kind of feet, if that's what you want to call them.
Can you give us a hand, Lee May?
No.
Okay.
And as it stands, once more, it pulls its arm from its sleeve and gestures towards the door, which is now there once again.
The rest of you possibly are better standing outside the tower just in case.
I
mean, we've proved this thing. Whatever you say is up there apparently can't kill me.
I'm interested to see what happens though if people who can't be scryed go in.
I understand.
Okay, so Zwan and Xingxin, you enter the room, carefully going up the staircase, and sure enough, you come to this circular library. Now, you can see that the center is dominated by a stone statue of a wizard reading a book. The area is lit dimly by this kind of suspended glowing orb, casting bright light in a small area and then dimly lighting the rest with kind of flickering illumination. Entering carefully, you kind of keep your eyes peeled for any sign of this kind of creature described to you by the others. Both of you roll me a perception, please.
Oh, 23.
Oh, nice.
Okay, so Qingxin, you kind of glance around the outside of the. Sorry, you glance around the statue, and you notice there's nothing there. As you step forward, though, Zwan, you grab her by the shoulder because looking up, you can see slightly above, kind of suspended, almost clinging to the boards of the ceiling, is some large-scaled reptilian beast.
Oh.
Interestingly, you see that there's a couple of the scales in its breastplate missing. Wedged in their place is a silver key.
Let's head back out.
Don't know what we need a key for, and things are apparently dangerous.
This feels deeply inconclusive.
Yeah. So yeah.
Guess we carefully head back out as quietly as we can.
Okay, so you guys back down to the others below.
Your description is all wrong. There's nothing with eyes and teeth. It's some sort of lizard.
I mean, did it have eyes and teeth?
Well,
cynically, then.
Yes. It wasn't all eyes and teeth.
Bruising its dental capabilities.
Well, plenty of seniors people think I'm crazy. We can all just go in and find out then.
Yes.
Okay, so is that the plan? Are we heading all in?
If we go in,
Yeah,
we
I
should
guess
go
we're
together.
some punishment.
Lime's fed up with the world.
Okay, so you guys, as a group, enter once more. The stairs creak a little more under your combined weight. As you enter, Zwan, you kind of cast your eyes upwards. There's no beast hanging from the ceiling. Instead, the statue moves, or indeed, you think the statue moves, but you're very clearly mistaken, and you've soon realised the error of your ways. Something very large moves from behind the statue, and all of you come face to face with a frost giant. And dangling from his neck around a little silver cord is a silver key.
Starting to see a theme here.
I don't like it.
So we must defeat it. Is a boss level. We must defeat it and get the key to go to the next level.
Do we want to reload again and see if we get something better?
Reload the level. I think the beholder. Oh fuck!
Oh, don't you? You're no longer dead. You can correct that.
Oh yeah. Congratulations,
Jesus
everyone. We've
To
turned
see
D&D
all the
into...
miners.
Yeah. Well done, everyone. We've turned D&D into a gacha game.
Oh, joy, delight. That's just what D&D needed.
That is a large frost giant.
Did you say he was a giant?
Everybody roll initiative, please.
Oh fuck! He's big.
Might have my magical aura this time, though, Crispy.
Fucking
You do.
hell.
Ah!
Hey.
Okay, so Zwan, you see this and react first.
Can we get Callan for this?
It is 10 o'clock.
He did say he could probably join.
Did he?
Yeah.
He sent a message not too
Like
long
a minute
ago.
or two ago.
Can Elias suddenly appear?
Give him no context and just throw him into the scene.
Throw him in. Hopper's initiative is highest as well. There you go, Cal. What are you going to do?
I've already given him a fairly good starting position.
Oh.
Do. Fireball.
We're all just like, please, we need our wizard.
No context. Load him into the map. Cal, what are you going to do?
I just imagine it's going to be that fucking gif from The Simpsons where Abe walks into the fucking burlesque house and just immediately turns around.
That doesn't look that well.
Wow, that is
That
the
is
world's
a-
tiniest
That is
gift.
what I meant. Yes.
No, it's actually an emoji in one of the servers.
Oh, that's even
When
better.
people join and they instantly leave.
Cal, no, don't leave us.
Oh, thank God.
Hi, Cal.
Hi, Cal.
Just in time, it is your initiative.
Oh, shit. Okay.
We're so sorry.
What am I being thrown into?
You'll see.
TPK?
The good news is it's not a beholder anymore.
Anymore.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a conspiracy going around. Everyone keeps saying I died.
Why am I next to this big thing?
Because you got a bit too curious investigating this library.
Oh dear.
But your turn.
Well. 2 seconds. Quickly. Allow me to consult my spellbook.
I cast shit pants at 4th level.
Yeah, something like that. And
It is a frost giant.
it's a frost giant.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, I know what I'm doing.
Cool. Glad that helped.
That's how big the room was.
Well, was there? This is a very flammable.
Oh god.
Was there
Excellent,
anything in
right.
here that we needed to recover?
We'll find out.
No.
There's a small silvery key around its neck.
Okay, so let's not try and destroy the room then. That's what I'm getting from that.
Allegedly, we need the key. I don't know.
Okay. Okay. I will cast Blur on myself.
Okay.
Why did I misread that as it being a bonus action? Oh, because I was looking at Misty Step at the same time. Never mind. And then I will use my telekinesis to try and push him away.
Okay, so he needs to roll strength, is it?
Yeah, DC 16 strength.
He fails that one.
Okay, cool. So just back 5 feet. Then I'm trying to run away. Hoping that he doesn't have more than 5 feet reach.
Let me check that, actually. That's a good question.
Why did I have to?
Ooh, 10-foot reach,
Oh.
I'm afraid, on a great axe.
Ooh.
So it will be
Yeah.
disadvantage.
Yeah,
however.
Fuck.
even so.
So that's going through, I'm afraid.
I don't suppose I happened to have cast a mage armor earlier today, did I?
I'm afraid that isn't something that has been accomplished. You weren't expecting combat.
Well, then a shield is worthless as well. So, yeah, that'll be a hit.
Oh fuck.
Okay, so the great axe slams into you, Elias, leaving you bleeding heavily and also obviously now dropping the constitution. Sorry, not constitution, concentration on Blur.
Nasty.
Okay, Zwan, your turn.
I'm going to do the steady aim or whatever it is.
Okay.
But I'm going to ready
It's
my
worth
bow.
pointing out at this point, yeah, you don't have line of
Yeah,
sight
yeah.
because of statue blocking.
I'm going to ready my bow, and the trigger for me to fire will be if it tries to attack one of the party members
Okay,
in turn.
so the giant is going to move this way, and it is going to try and attack Elias. So take your shot, Swan.
Yep. Oh.
It hits.
Ooh. Okay. And I get my. I forget how many. 3d6. Yes. No. 14 in total.
Okay, so Zwan, you fire an arrow straight at this thing's chest, and as it strikes, the illusion dissipates, and the necklace with the key drops to the floor.
What?
Elias, the wound in your side is no longer there, it seems.
So annoying.
Oh my god!
His name must have been Imlius.
For fuck's sake.
What do we need a key for?
There's a plinth downstairs with 3 keyholes.
Oh,
Question is, where are the other 2 keys?
I did see one on the lizard. But we came
There
through
was
the
one
same
on that
door.
orb.
Sorry, everyone. That blow really shook my head. I feel like I've forgotten everything that's happened in the last couple of hours.
Well, it's going to be like, Alois, you never
It's-
told me you were
it's-
a mole.
You really have been quite off colour all day.
It's a long story. We'll regale it back
I'll
at the
look at
taverns.
Schwan. Like, have you been feeding from me? And
Oh, no, I haven't. I found someone else.
you say that out loud.
Oh yeah.
Yes, that's a very good point, actually. So this
Who did what now?
should be ringing alarm bells with the 2 of you.
I'm gonna side-eye Zhang Chen and sort of hone in on this conversation.
I said it in my 5-foot radius voice. I don't know much more than you. I was upstairs when the others did more investigation.
More like traumatization. But whatever.
Should we head back outside and have a talk about things?
Who
Yeah.
wants to grab the key?
I can go and grab the key.
I don't want to stay in this library.
I've still got detect magic going, I would imagine, with the amount of time it's taken us to get up here. I think it's like 10 minutes or so. Is the key magical?
He is not magical.
Cool. Is there anything else around here that's making me very, very worried?
The entire room reeks of illusion magic.
Oh, Jesus wept. Okay, it's like trying to find a needle in a haystack, I'm guessing.
Pretty much.
Okay, I'll grab the key.
So you pocket the key. And then I guess the plan is to take this back down to the plinth.
Yeah.
Okay, so as you guys make your way down, sure enough, this key fits perfectly into one of the relevant holes in the plinth.
As we go down to the lobby, I'm going to pop a divine sense.
Okay, so let's see what exactly that will reveal.
Celestials, fiends, undead. I know the location of them within 60 feet, as well as the creature type, or any hallowed or desecrated, consecrated places or objects. But it doesn't
Yeah.
reveal the identity. So they want it.
Okay, so Zhang Chen, there is an undead within 15 feet of you. A vampire, to be exact.
What creature type is it? Yeah, vampire. So we couldn't help but overhear upstairs you were talking about feeding. When were you going to reveal that you're a vampire?
I'm not a vampire. That's such a salacious accusation. How dare you?
Not you. I think he knows who I'm on about. Don't choose one.
Li Mei's gonna protectively go in front of Zhuan.
When were you going to reveal that you have some secret area in the temple where you make your deals?
You
We
think
weren't really hiding that.
you think it's unusual that temples have hidden areas where the public can't go?
I'll point my finger at Jingshin. When were you going to reveal that she's a necromancer?
I'm a cleric.
You're a necromancer.
And I'm a
Can I roll
necromancer.
I roll an insight on that claim to be a cleric.
Yep, roll me an insight, please.
I heard Rich, very good.
Oh, got my
Hey!
insight.
Same.
That just brings me back to divinity, Rich.
Oh yeah.
I add a bonus to my insight based on the fact that I've already seen her using necromantic magic.
Well, not in the sense that you'd read her expressions. You know she's lying, but she's doing a very good job of trying to convince you she isn't.
Yeah.
Mm.
I saw you using magic back in that village. The fairies.
Mm.
We saw you using magic back in the village with the fairies.
Not necromantic magic, you didn't. So we all have things to hide here.
It's surprising you seem so concerned about necromantic magic when you have an undead walking around with you.
Nah, but he didn't choose this.
Really?
The vampire lad
This should be a
chose
good
me.
thing for all of us.
A good thing?
Well, it seems we perhaps maybe have something in common.
You're a vampire?
No! Do I look like a vampire?
Yeah.
No.
The dress
no.
is probably giving that kind of impression.
Yeah.
Don't answer that, she's just pale.
I don't get out enough.
Bit of an iron deficiency.
Perhaps time to have some honest conversations then.
Next session.
Next session.
Yes, you notice that whilst this has been going on, the mannequin has politely and patiently been gesturing to a door on the other wall, which is
Shut up, mannequin, now's not the time.
It's like the mannequin's a host at a restaurant and we're a couple having a domestic, like we're collectively a couple having a domestic and they're just trying to take our order.
Big family argument, and they're like, so how is your meal?
Sorry,
Here's your water.
what's the deal with the mannequin?
Oh.
Lost my memory.
You can find it in the Cliff Notes version.
The Cliff Notes version? There's a Cliff Notes version?
Yeah, it's called The Recording Before This Time Next Week.
by Cliff Notes, you mean the whole thing in full length.
Yeah.
Yeah, what minute do I skip to just to find that bit out?
Many.
Yeah.
But yes, that will be saved for next session. So as this tense standoff develops, I think that is a great time to leave this and pick up next week.
It is
Oh,
definitely like
boy.
the end of an anime episode or something. Or
Yeah.
like,
Tune in
it's like-
next week on
Yeah,
Drakkenlords.
next week.